Everyone's saying free Palestine. What do you mean free Palestine? Free Palestine from what? How? Free Palestine when you yourself are still doing the haram. Free Palestine when you don't even come to salah. Free Palestine from what? You are going to free Palestine when you don't even attend salah. You are going to free Palestine when you don't even...
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا حبيب قلوبنا شفيع ذنوبنا مولانا عبد القاسم أثيم الجنة والنار المصطفى نور الله محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين وأصحابه الملتجبين أما بعد أيها الإخوة والأخوات السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Well, I think you've heard this speaker, this wahabi ranting about free Palestine. I don't know why, whensoever you say free Palestine, as if you are saying it to a Zionist, when you say to a Wahhabi, free Palestine, you see them freaking out and getting pissed up, and I don't know really. Why? Why? Because the Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa said, Al-Muslim wa Al-Muslim. A Muslim is the brother of other Muslim. Like, you, even if you are not a Muslim, even if that people were not Muslims, humanity talks. We feel their pains. You bring in Salah, you have to pray. Who tells you we don't pray Salah? Who tells you the other same free Palestine doesn't pray Salah? But you always use this kind of trick to suppress what you don't like. What you don't like. Did you know that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa looked at the Kaaba and said, you are so purified, but you should know that the blood of one Muslim is more purer than the Kaaba. And I know you know how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reacted to the army of the elephant. أَلَمْ تَرَ كَيْفَ فَعَلَ رَبُّكَ بِأَصْحَابِ الْفِيلِ أَلَمْ نَجْعَلْ كَيْدَهُمْ فِي تَضْلِيلٍ وَأَرْسَلَ عَلَيْهِمْ طَيْرًا أَبَابِيلَ تَرْمِيهِمْ بِحِجَارَةٍ مِّن سِجِّيلٍ. Just for attacking the Kaaba, for wanting to destroy the Kaaba, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends army of bird that destroy the army of elephant. So tell me, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa said, the blood of a Muslim is more valuable than the Kaaba itself. But you are freaking out about somebody saying free Palestine. Even the people that doesn't believe the existence of God weep, cry, feel the pains of the Palestinians. Just because if you don't deserve to live, if you don't have a good aqidah, if you don't pray on time, if you don't perform daily prayers, if you are not a good Muslim, that is your own ideology. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. To who? To the Prophet. He came to be a mercy to all. But you guys are making us look pathetic. You guys are making us look so extreme. You're making us, we Muslims, to look bad in the eyes of even non-Muslims. What type of a brother is it? Forsaking his own brother. What type of a brother is it? He doesn't have a sympathy or empathy towards his own brothers, towards the suffering. Even Palestinians, if they will be pagans. In Islam, it is entitled, it's a duty upon us to support the oppressed. And this is the message Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When the Prophet was freeing the women that were being abused by men, were the women Muslims? When the Prophet was freeing that female children that are being buried alive, were they Muslims? When the Prophet fought the corruption of the leaders of Mecca, were all the Meccans Muslim? When the Prophet entered Medina and gave amnesty to the disbelievers of Mecca, of Medina, are they Muslims? So, but why bringing this to suppress? What, even with logic, you don't need anybody to tell you. It's just as good as washing hands when you want to eat. You don't need even a hadith to tell you wash your hands. You don't need anyone to tell you. Basic hygiene, basic woman decency will inform you that. Do you think that the time that the Prophet went to Badr, all Muslims were perfect? Nobody is perfect. The only one that is perfect is the Ma'asumeen. Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala declared the Prophet being perfect. Although to you guys the Prophet is not even perfect. As you say, he do say. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, وَالنَّجْمِ إِذَا حَوَى مَا ظَلَّ صَاحِبُكُمْ وَمَا هَوَى وَلَا يَنطِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَى إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes the Prophet. He is the only one that doesn't sin, that doesn't have these abilities. But even the companions that you love dearly, they have their mistakes, they have their wrongdoings. So why are you trying to say, for us to support Palestine, we have to be 100% perfect? For the Palestinians to be free, they have to be 100% perfect. With what logic you use? What type of logic? You guys, every time we brought up something else, we take from Quran and Sunnah. So from which Sunnah do you take this? Ranting, angry about some people that are being oppressed. By who? By Zionists. By the enemies of Islam. But you don't like to talk about Zionists because maybe you're in the period, we don't know. But you don't talk about the atrocities they commit, and at the same time you are trying to tell Muslims that have empathy over what is happening there in Palestine. What is happening in Palestine? Telling them that, oh, don't do, you don't pray, why should you talk about Palestine? Billah. What type of animosity you guys are having? What type of hatred you guys are having? People want to check the videos. It's recorded live, this genocide. Babies in incubators were being killed. Children that can barely know their own names, bombed, starved to death. Elderly women, children are the victims of this. But what are you saying? We shall perform Zuhr and Asr before talking about Palestine. Yeah, Zuhr and Asr, we have to perform it. We have to pray. But we don't have to do to you. Doing it to Allah. So when somebody says about Palestine, don't consider that person, he doesn't pray. consider that person, think good about that person. Think good, because the Prophet said, anyone that the problem of the Muslims doesn't concern him, he is not among them. He is not among them. And we have to realize something, that the world is divided into two. No in between. Either you will be in the side of the mu'mineen, or you will be in the side of munafiqeen and kafirun. This is clear. Like Imam Ali alayhi salam says that whensoever you want to know, are you at the side of the truth, just look to the direction where the arrows of the enemies are gone. That is the reason why we don't see the drops of bombs from Israel or United States on Saudi Arabia or Jordan or Emirat or Qatar or any other puppet country like you, serving the wishes and likes of the Zionists. The only place we see the bombs of Zionists is dropping is in Gaza, is in Lebanon, is in Iraq, is in Iran, is in Yemen. So this is exactly how you will know, are you really in the side of the truth or not? But whensoever you see the enemy praises you, you know that there is really a problem with you. So I think I'm sincerely not attacking you, but trying to just advise you and the people like you, because it's a very dangerous ideology. Always when Muslims are suffering, that's when you feel at ease. You always try to make the Muslims weak, and this is the reason why you attack everyone but not Muslims, but not non-Muslims. Since the beginning of the Wahabi movement, they never attack a non-Muslim country. They never attack a non-Muslim army. But who do they attack? Every country that say La ilaha illallah, that their arrow can reach, they attack. And this is a sign of hypocrisy. It's a sign of hypocrisy. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from being hypocrite. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes us among the Ansar of Imam Mahdi. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes us among the righteous. With here I will conclude to you with what Imam Hussein alayhi salam said on the day of Ashura. Ala wa inna ad-da'i ibn ad-da'i adaraka bayna snatayn bayna az-zillati waz-zillah وحيحات من الظل وحيحات من الظل وحيحات من الظل. We will not live with humiliation. It's better for us to stood and fight and fall than living under oppression with humiliation. والسلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته وصلى على محمد